Hey YouTube, what's good with it? What's up y'all? Today I have a different type of video. Today we're going to be looking at walking, running, jumping, and jogging in video games. It seems like a simple concept, but we're going to look at it in a little more depth. If you've been around my channel for a little bit, then you know I like to get into depth with a lot of things. And the reason I'm actually making this video is because I was playing a classic Tomb Raider game and stuff like this just kept happening. Okay, Lara. Okay, Lara. Okay, Lara. But how you gonna walk right off though? Alright, bro. Why didn't she jump?
I'm smiling, but it ain't funny.
Alright, I'm just gonna adjust myself a little bit and we're gonna get this jump off. Alright, we got it.
Let's go.
So after I got past some jumps in Tomb Raider games, it really made me think about running and walking animations. So for those of you who never played a classic Tomb Raider game, Lara has a realistic slow jog. And when you press the jump button, you have to wait for her feet to be in proper position before she actually jumps. So it has a delay to it after you press the jump button. Or you can just hold the jump button and run off the ledge and then she'll automatically jump. I'm gonna drop some game for y'all. For those of you who don't know, the pattern of how you move your feet when you walk or run is called gait. You know, that walking technique. You take a step forward, you put your heel on the ground, and then you shift your weight to the ball of your foot and your toe, and you press off of it, and then you take your next step. But some of y'all definitely have a weird gait. Y'all be walking on y'all toes, bouncing on them, looking like a happy-ass parrot. It's all good though, at least you can walk. So we all know characters in gaming have different walks, jogs, and runs, but what I want to know is how does gait impact gaming? So we know some characters have very realistic walk and run animations, while some just don't. So what does this do to the gameplay? Alright, so let's look at characters with unrealistic walk and run animations. Alright, so let's look at Mario's run animation in Super Mario Land 2. Y'all niggas don't know nothing about that. It looks very unrealistic. His feet are flopping everywhere. It looks like he's wearing shoes 3 sizes above his size. And his feet are moving just super fast. You really can't distinguish every step of gait when you look at Mario's running animation. His steps aren't defined, but since his steps aren't defined, it meant that the developers didn't have to animate a realistic run, which in terms of gameplay that meant that he can jump anytime he wants during his step, or in between his steps, which leads to my next point being when you have an unnatural walk or run in a game, the response time when you jump is actually quicker because they don't have to animate it to make it look natural, and wait for Mario's feet to be in position to make a humanoid jump. The classic Sonic games also have this case too. They have a responsive jump with little delay to it, and an unnatural gait. I mean, just look at my man's run. His feet don't even like run, they windmill. The modern Sonic games definitely have a faster response time to when you press the jump button. We talked about in the classic Tomb Raiders how Lara Croft has a very realistic gait, but then the input delay for when you jump out of running or jogging is slow. A game that came out the same year as Tomb Raider 1 is Crash Bandicoot, and Crash Bandicoot looks like he has a good gait. It doesn't seem as detailed and as realistic as Lara Croft's and Tomb Raider's, since he walks so much more faster. And in comparison, you can really tell because when you jump in Crash Bandicoot, it's so much more responsive than it is in Tomb Raider, and the input delay is significantly reduced. Probably because his feet move so much faster. Alright, so let's look at some modern games and see how gait is affected since modern games have better technology for developers to have better animations. So the first game we're going to look at is Assassin's Creed 2. It's a game with a lot of running and a lot of parkour, so good candidate. So we can see Ezio has a realistic gait between his walk, jog, and run. But what I really want to know with these modern games are how much delay is it between when you press the jump button and for your character to actually jump. I'm not going to be pressed and be like, it's 530 milliseconds for you to jump after you press the button. I'm not doing all that though. But when it comes to Assassin's Creed 2, jumping out of running has very minor delay, it's very slim and still very responsive. Definitely faster than a classic Tomb Raider jump. The delay probably comes from his feet going back into position to be able to jump, but Ezio moves his feet fast, so it's not an issue. Lara Croft in Tomb Raider 2013 has a realistic gait, and the jump time is actually very fast and responsive. There's like no delay. The only thing I will say about her jumping is she only seems to jump off of one foot, never with the other, but the animation looks smooth and it fits. It doesn't look weird and unnatural. Grand Theft Auto games have always had a realistic walk and run, but one thing they always had too is a lot of input delay after you press the jump button, so they don't follow the same tread as other modern games. When we look at Raiden in Metal Gear Rising, we can see he has a very fast stride, and when you jump out of running, there's hardly any delay. He seems to only jump off of one leg though when you look at the animations. Now, the next game we're gonna look at is Temple Run, and this game was huge back in the day. I remember everybody used to play this back in school. Gotta give mobile games some love too. So the character in this game definitely has a very realistic run. When you jump out of running in this game, there's hardly any delay, like the delay hardly exists. The only thing I can say is when you jump in Temple Run, he has a weird jump animation. It doesn't look like he's jumping off of the foot that's forward, but instead both his legs. So it seems like all the modern games, we can see every step to gate with every character that we looked at. I will say the only thing I didn't notice with the modern games is it doesn't seem like every character jumped off of their foot that's forward. I was under the impression that all old school games would have a faster jump animation, but that's not the case with the classic Tomb Raider games because you jump slow in that game. And I also thought the more realistic your gait would get, the slower your jumping animations would be, which actually isn't the case when most of the modern games had very minor delay from jumping out of running. There are some modern games where you jump only at specific parts. You don't jump as an actual command that you can do anytime you want, like The Last of Us and God of War. But we can see they have realistic gaits when they run, and when they jump, the technique is realistic. So, I hope y'all learned something in this video. I hope y'all found it entertaining. I was just thinking about this for food for thought, so I thought I'll make a nice video for it. Keep some sauce in your walk. If you rock with this video, go ahead and subscribe, drop a comment. Plenty more content like this coming on the way, and you guys already know what I'm about to say. Vibe out.